good, everybody? Welcome back to Frame of Mind. This week I'm joined by Yates, my crusty, creamy cornetto boy, and new fan favourite, because nobody likes me or you, Yates. Henry, what's good?
A fan
you too?
favourite?
Yeah, you'll be instant fan favourite because we haven't got any fans.
Oh, yeah, I was about to detest that and be like, wait, why is he a fan favourite but not me? But then I realised, oh wait, we don't have any fucking fans.
Yeah. I actually re-uploaded the podcast to the new channel, and they've had no views really.
Hey, that's right, boys! Just
so,
that.
So who knows who will be hearing this? Maybe this will just come round and bite us in the arse when we have careers.
My mum.
Later down the line.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a whole James Gunn, aren't we?
Nice. Well, can you let her know that I'm coming round later?
Oh.
And to stop changing her lipstick because my lip's looking like a goddamn prize
Mate,
bag.
she's fucking paralysed. She's in a fucking wheelchair. Jesus Christ, yeah? She's not gonna be. She can't speak, mate. She can't speak anything but fucking dribbles.
That's all Ryan can manage. It's
that's
fine.
Perfect lubricant.
Yeah, he loves his bloody dribbles, don't you? You little fucking dribbler.
I love a spastic me.
Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, welcome to the Frame of Mind podcast, by the way. Yeah, so what's on the agenda
how you boys
today?
been? What have you been up to?
Well, you know me, Ryan. I don't do fuck all with my life. Henry, how about you? Welcome to the podcast. What can I say? I don't know.
Thank you. What have I been up to, Ryan? I mean,
what, you don't ask me. I mean, I only look through your windows a couple of times a week. I'm not there all the time.
Sorry. I've got a really bad throat.
Yeah, somehow you've given me your cough through the power of the internet.
Oh, you can't put it on a spot like this. Come on.
Oh, fuck it. All right.
Right, so there's nothing to report.
I thought about this the other day. I had a few drinks the other day, and I thought about this. Right, now I want to know if you guys have got an answer for me. If a guy was celibate until marriage, and in the night of his wedding he gets down and jiggy with his missus, busts a nut, and then she has twins, does that make him 200% fertile?
Wait a fucking minute. What's your logic here?
Because he's never was busted.
Oh, well, yeah. But I'm sure, right? Unless he's fucking Catholic, I'm sure, speaking for all men.
Yeah, that's what I just said. He's celibate until marriage.
Yeah.
That's basically being Catholic, maybe being Hindu.
Did he double bust in that night though? Did he give it 2 attempts?
No, just
the one pump.
Nut, 2 kids.
One pump.
Just one pump.
There's twins.
Well, it would be, wouldn't it, if it's been.
Yeah, you've been waiting fucking years for it.
He could just brush the outskirts.
Whoa. Whoa.
A fire hose just shoots him to the other side of the room.
Well, I mean, actually, yeah, he'd be 200% effective, wouldn't he? There's 100%
that's
success
just
rate.
what I'm saying.
Then there's 200. Yeah, but what if one of them dies in child? No, anyway.
Oh Jesus Christ!
This is a cinema podcast.
Yeah, I said to Henry on chat the other day because he said like I watch movies, but like I'm not a film nerd like you guys. Like, are we still going to talk about films and stuff? I went, nah, don't worry about it.
Never
happens. Go for it. I watch enough. It never happens. You go off on a massive tangents, do you? Just constantly.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the new Spider-Man trailer?
Yeah. What very recent one? Like it was released today, was it?
The one literally
yes,
today.
Pretty recent.
That's recent. Yeah. Oh yeah. I do remember.
Yeah.
No, I have. No, I have because the whole new what's the fucking word? Villains. Little teasers.
Yeah.
Well, not really teasers. They're pretty obvious, but looks juicy, doesn't it?
I want Willem Dafoe to come back as Goblin.
Oh yeah.
Like, more than anything in the world.
That would
like
be
I'm happy
great.
Alfred Molina is back as Doc Ock, but just more Willem Dafoe as Goblin just gets me jolly in my pants. There's no other word for it.
Do you not think because of the tiny tease they did for it, because all you saw was the Goblin grenade, it kind of is more likely?
Yeah.
But what's his face? Harry Osborn also used the grenades.
Wait, so is Harry
both
Osborn
of them have died?
Defoe's son in the film context?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because I was going to say, because I didn't watch his films in fucking...
Because that's...
a
decade.
decade.
I can't remember his name. DeFranco. What's his face? DeFranco?
No, yes, Dave Franco.
No, Dave Franco's the shorter one. It was in the worst season of Scrubs.
Wait,
Come on.
who's William Defoe's son in fucking Spider-Man?
It is DeFranco. James DeFranco. James Franco.
It's James Franco, not Dave Franco.
D.
James Franco.
DeFranco is the guy that did the YouTube videos.
You're confusing Defoe and Franco.
Yeah, just putting them together.
Wait, so who the fuck is the actual Green Goblin? Right? Right, riddle me this.
Willem Dafoe is the first Green Goblin.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man 2 is Doc Ock, and then in Spider-Man 3 it's Sandman, Venom, and Franco as the son of the Goblin, Hobgoblin.
And Franco, what's his first name?
Harry? No, wait. Harry is the name of his character in the film. Oh fuck.
So is it James or Dave?
I'm loving this chaos energy that's going on. I'm just going to sit back and listen.
Franco actor.
It's either James or Dave.
It's James.
James Franco.
Well, there we go. Yeah. So that's settled then, isn't it? It is James Franco.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. What did you say it already?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I would rather see Willem Dafoe, but the dude is getting on a bit now, even though he is a spectacular actor. Like, I don't know how much more like action he could do. I think I was thinking like they could quite easily just edit his face onto the Goblin armor, and like he'll have the helmet on for a lot of it and stuff like that.
I mean, there's enough stunt double stuff. There's enough, there's enough to go around for him not to do a lot of action himself if he was to do it. Yeah. But would they bother? I guess is the point, right?
I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they got the money. They could bring him just for his head, and it would just be like water.
But I think they'd also be thinking the same question themselves, and then it'd be like, well, we could do that, but would it be better to bring him in? Fucking let's think. I don't know, fucking Star Wars style, old man Ben Kenobi. Bring him in as the old. He already was kind of that one in the original one. He was.
Well,
he was the Green Goblin, but he kind of had this old man feel about him anyway. Old wise man thing. Yeah. They'll probably do the same thing in this one, and then have a younger James Franco. Sorry, actually, I had to remember that myself. I was like, fuck, don't say Dave. James Franco. Bring James Franco in as the Green Goblin, which would be sick. Because if they brought him back,
I don't know if it would though. I mean, his character was pretty bad in the third Spider-Man movie. His character was like.
This is a chance for them to redeem it, is it not?
Oh, I don't know. Have they got room to redeem in this film? I mean, if you think about it, you've got Tom Holland Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. The story plot itself of Peter wanting to change the world so they don't know that it's him and this, that, and the other. The full cast that they've introduced in the Spider-Man movies, which, let's be honest, is a bigger cast than any of the other Spider-Man films. If you think about it, like, in the other Spider-Man movies, you've had, like, Mary Jane, Peter Parker, Aunt May, and Harry, maybe, in the first ones, Willem Dafoe's son, James Franco. And then if you go into like the Andrew Garfield ones, it's basically the same, but instead of having James Franco's character, there isn't really a replacement. There's actually less characters in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. So like these new Spider-Man movies have got Spider-Man, Happy, Ned, like all of his classmates. There's so
much
like,
going
on. Many people. Whatever her name is, what her name is.
Yeah, exactly. So like to think that they're also gonna put in a story to what's happened to Goblin and a story of what's happened to this and that and the other. They'll probably just have some multiverse excuse that they survived in their version of reality or some shit like that.
Of course, with the whole Watcher thing now, you can just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good thing as well. Actually, have you guys been watching Marvel's What If?
Yeah,
I've watched there's two, right? Only two are out so far.
Yeah.
Dating this,
obviously. The next one comes out tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow it comes out? Oh, okay.
The next one, they come out on a Wednesday, I think.
I think the first one I was I kind of went in not really knowing what to expect, and it was kind of I enjoyed it, but it wasn't. In fact, I almost can't remember. That's how kind of not that gripping to me it was. I know it's kind of more of an interesting thing more than a gripping thing. It's kind of like obviously the point of being what if is it's just talking about what could happen. It's interesting, obviously, but it's to me it didn't. Maybe because I'm not a massive Marvel nerd. It didn't grip me.
All right. What if they did like a what if of Star Wars and they swapped Leia and Luke's thing round? Do you think you'd be more interested in that sort of thing, seeing as you're more Star Wars orientated than Marvel?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I'm always interested in those kind of things if they're they're produced as well as they are with those massive
I mean, the
companies.
animation
It's so
is
thought
just-
out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I really enjoyed the first one. I thought the second one was a bit, it's okay. Like, it's a cool idea, and I like.
Care to remind me what the first one was, because I actually can't remember.
I agree.
So the first one was. The first one was Captain Carter, so Peggy Carter takes the serum instead of Captain America, which I actually really enjoyed, and it made me realise as I was watching that I'm actually totally there for anything Marvel want to throw at me to do with the Captain America and Peggy Carter sort of love story, because they have their little moments together and this, that and the other, and it shows that they'd still go for each other even if, Cap doesn't get the serum, instead Peggy does and stuff, and it's like it's nice. I know it's obviously animated and it's a bit more Disney-esque, it's a bit maybe lovey-dovey at certain points, but it's nice that they continue on with that, and they understood that is something that's important to the Captain America story. It's not just beating up the Nazis for a whole movie sort of thing. So I really enjoyed it, and I liked it when she disappears at the end and jumps into the future, similar to how Cap goes into the ice, but she turns up where Loki would have done when the Tesseract is activated in Avengers.
Oh,
so
she turns up in that outside the elevators?
No. So, in the first Avengers movie, when the Tesseract gets activated and Loki turns up, and he uses the staff.
It's in that big underground.
Yeah, the big underground base.
Camp,
yeah. It's like Shield's base or whatever before it gets completely destroyed. But and she turns Hawkeye evil. Oh, sorry, he turns Hawkeye evil with the staff. Also turns the science guy from the Thor movies evil with the staff. Instead of Loki turning up in the animated one, Captain Carter does as well, which I just thought was a nice way of tying it off in the end, showing how things still work out the same.
That's the bit for me that I kind of didn't really like.
Really?
I understand that it's gonna. This is only one of infinite possibilities, so they're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
But for me, I would kind of prefer it to be left open-ended. I understand why it's being brought back, because it could still fit into the universe, kind of. Into the main
and she's turning up at the same
but,
time as sort of Cap turns back up as well.
But for me, it kind of just it's that's convenient. It's a bit too, and I get it's a interest thing more than a real storyline and thrilling.
Now the second one, all right. I'm feeling we're probably going to agree more on the second one then, because I wasn't that sure about the second What If. I mean, I thought it was good, and there's a few funny bits in it, but it's when Black Panther becomes Star-Lord.
Yeah.
So, for example, just because it's Black Panther instead of Peter Quill, suddenly they're all good guys and they're saving the universe and all this sort of stuff. I was innocently he's not that good. I mean, he was a child when he got picked up.
I think it's his...
he could still turn into an arsehole.
But I think it's because of... I actually enjoyed the second one because I think I'd understood what it was at that point, maybe.
It's more recent in my memory. That's why.
Maybe that's why.
Probably,
as well.
yeah.
I think
also, I was less drunk when I watched it.
That
which also helps.
I think the reason why it went that way, Ryan, is because of his personality. And how
right there.
Quill is a bit of an arsehole, but he gets, that's him joking along, whereas the whole point of T'Challa is that he unites people, and he's experienced all that in Wakanda as a child. He kind of understands the technology, whereas Quill would have been mind blown.
Yeah, he's been humbled by being a prince and stuff like that.
So I think that's why I went down that line.
Right. Yeah. I liked and I disliked about... Sorry, you can say something.
No, you carry on.
Oh, all right. Thanks, babe. I was just going to say, I liked and I disliked Thanos being good.
Yeah.
Weird.
No, I
liked it. Yeah.
I like that they poke at... Because this is what I like to see. Because whenever I watch Marvel films or any superhero films, it's all so seriously taken. I'm just there's so many nitpicky things where I'm just well, this is a consequence or this or whatever. But the fact that they they make light of, for example, Thanos in this scenario being it's just genocide, it's efficient. And it's just
yeah.
I like the fact it's when the thing that I always think about films
chill out a bit.
people like humans, you know, we all kind of bring it back to our own reality. Humans, at least in my brain anyway, I'm just like fucking. We go about our daily business. We still have to eat. We still have to shit. We still have to do all that stuff. This might sound weird coming to you guys, but I'm just like, whenever you see a Marvel film, maybe I'm too realistic in my scenarios. But like when I see these films, I'm just like, right, but we all
drunk, honestly.
That's probably it as well. But no, I'm just like fucking. I like seeing in subtle things. In like, even I was watching Rick and Morty the other day, and I saw them just do a really subtle detail that was just like, they were going on a zip line and they pushed off of it and went back, and I was just like, that is a subtle detail that no one think about. It's like, it's a little subtle detail. It's like, this is things that people actually do.
What do you mean? What do you mean in Rick and Morty on a zip line?
Sorry, no, that was just a random thought. But like, it was,
no, but I'm just trying to remember because I've been watching the most recent Rick and Morty and I can't remember them going down the zip line.
They were going down a zip line. Oh, it was the Power Rangers knockoff one.
Oh,
and,
the Mighty Morphin and like the
Mighty Morphin one.
Yeah. That was a weird episode.
They defeated the big boss one or whatever, and they were going down the zip line, and especially as it's animation as well, they were going down the zip line and they had to get back down the zip line, but they had to zip line back up to their ship afterwards. And normally they just kind of skip over that kind of thing, whether it's animated or not.
Oh, you mean they just cut back and they're in the ship and they fly off? They
and they're there. The thing that I'm always just like asking questions whenever I'm watching whatever I'm watching, and like I'll enjoy it for what it is, but I love it when they just bring in minor details because like that is what really brings you back down to reality, and you can relate with these characters 100%. As well. So it was nice to see them even though Thanos, like it was nice to make them make light of him being an actual human, because I'm just like, Thanos at the end of the day, he might be a fucking titan or whatever, but last I checked, we're all in the same fucking physical universe where we all have to shit. Sorry, I keep bringing it back to taking poos.
Just really wants
to
see Thanos take a
I don't want to take a shit.
I don't remember.
Shit,
I don't remember the scene of Thanos taking. What if Thanos took a shit?
Yeah, that throne that he's got on that big floating rock is just. What if that throne was just his shitter? It's just like.
No, I just like things being based in reality.
You know that end credit scene where he goes, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and goes into like the thing and grabs the gauntlet right in the end of like one of the Avengers films. It's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself." Some guy's like walking away, looking all grumpy, and then he puts his hand in and grabs toilet paper. He's just wiping his own ass instead of his helper.
No, I just like being able to relate to it, and whether or not maybe taking a shit was a bad example, but I mean, I just,
you lost me for a moment.
Maybe.
I knew what you meant though, but yeah, like making it realistic. Like I recently watched. I don't know if you guys have seen Goodfellas or if you remember much about it, but there's a fantastic one shot. The lead character is basically introduced as a little boy who sort of joins the mafia, but doesn't really know he's joined the mafia yet. They're just the gangsters that live around his area, and he goes around like doing jobs for them and this, that, and the other. And then it sort of cuts to later on, and he's grown up and he's now like sort of a key member of the mafia group and this, that, and the other. Then he gets a girl at one point, and he takes the girl to this bar where all the mafia guys hang out and everything, and absolutely everybody in the bar knows him. And they have this fantastic one shot where like he gets her out the car, right, and they like sort of hold arms or whatever, go across the street. They skip the queue that's going in the front of the restaurant, and they go downstairs into the kitchen. And this one shot follows them all the way through the kitchen, where it's really busy. There's chefs, like all the frying and the chopping up and everything. It's like a proper like kitchen chaos. Like genuinely doesn't feel like a film. It's really nicely done. And then they come out of these double doors. He slips like this guy a 20 because like he's going through this way or whatever. Comes out to the bar, and then he starts meeting all of these different guys that know him in this way or the other, and like the camera moves to each person, and like he's sort of introducing both the audience to the other members of the mafia, but by using the girl that he's just started dating, who's never met any of these people.
Oh, nice!
And it's brilliantly done. It's so good. Yeah. And this is like in the 90s, they were really getting into a patter of things. You know, Tarantino would finally come on the scene and stuff like that. And this is a film from like 90. Maybe 93 or something like that. So like it's Scorsese's into his forte now. Goodfellas is a great film if you guys haven't seen it. It's really excellent film.
Absolutely love one shots though. They just are.
It's fantastic. It follows them from that all the way down. He like slips another he slips like $100 bill to like the maitre d', who goes and gets him a table and sets it up right at the front set, and like you can see the table get carried past in front of the camera and everything. Like there is so much going on. But what I wanted to say that links onto what you were saying, Yates, is it's the little details. Every single character, whether he's introduced or not, is doing something totally realistic for that environment, you know? And then occasionally you'll get a character who's not doing something necessarily realistic, but it's acceptable to take that in because it's this sort of universe. So he introduces this guy and he goes, hey, that's Tommy 2 times. And then she goes, why do you call him Tommy 2 times? He goes, because he says everything 2 times. And then the camera lingers on him for a second. And he stands up, looks to the guy he's sat next to on the bar and goes, I'm going to get the papers. And just like walks up. And it's great. And at no point do you question it. You're just clunk fixed in because of those like little details. You know, if they went all the way to the bar and everybody was just sat there, you know, maybe one guy has a drink, but they're all just like staring at the stage or whatever, you'd be disconnected like straight away. It's great directing, honestly, such a good film.
And you know, with I go back to the fact it's a one shot. You know, because from then it probably was all done. That was actually probably a one shot.
It 100% was. Yeah, no CG, no invisible cut, no, like.
Oh really?
None at all. No, 100%.
And that's
like it's maybe a 4-minute one shot, something like that. Like
so
it's not long, but it's just deep in detail.
Long enough.
The thing is about these as well is that unless you're a bit of a camera nerd or a cinema nerd, you don't pick up on those things, but it's subconscious, right?
Yeah.
But when you are a nerd into those kind of things, you're like, holy shit, this is still going.
Yeah.
This is still going. It's still, even then, you still love it. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely. It's one of my favourite things about being like a film nerd is it doesn't ruin it for you. It actually makes it better. Like watching a movie makes it better when you're a film nerd. Like occasionally I'll find I've missed a bit of the story because I'm looking at how they're cutting and interchanging and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, then again, I finish the movie. I'm like, I'll probably watch that in a couple days' time, and I'll just re-watch it again. I'll give myself a little break, come back, and be like, oh, sick. And you miss this little detail here and stuff, you know.
Yeah, if it's a one shot though, it kind of forces the director or the filmmaker of such filmmakers that you have to tell this story in, well, if it's done well, obviously. If you don't do it, it could just be shit 4 minutes of your life or however long it is. But like if it's one shot and they have to tell this story in this time, it kind of, you know, you won't see a one shot, at least a good one shot from a shit director that doesn't know what they're doing. Like, you know, if they know what they're doing, you won't trust it the same. But if they've done a good job of it, you'll be like, holy fuck, like that's a big thing to pull off. Like,
and on go on.
Did you ever watch 1917?
Yeah. That's
mate,
a magic film. That is a magic film.
Obviously, it's not actually a one shot, but the whole thing is played as if it's one shot. And that I only watched that recently.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, really? What, for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
3 months ago, maybe.
First time I watched it, I didn't even know it was one shot. Won't lie.
Did you not?
No, because I had no idea that it was a one shot.
I think I knew beforehand.
Probably as well, but
I think I knew beforehand.
The only shot that I knew was one shot was the one him running through the field, and I was just like, "That's incredible!" The whole actors running into him,
hitting him.
We talked about this on another podcast.
Ran into him as well.
Yeah, we talked about and the extra that like clatters into him went home to his wife and went, "Honey, you won't believe it. I ran into the lead actor." Yeah. You also know you're an extra when you clatter into someone, both of you at the same speed, and the medical team go to the actor and not you. You just have to get yourself off and wipe down and reset. But what was I going to say? On the other side of that coin, to the one shots is, and like I watched Knives Out recently. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's Ryan Johnson's
very good,
like whodunit movie. It's fucking flawless. It is flawless. I'd give it a genuine 100. And I rarely do that because I can really pull movies apart. But I just think
because the director's got the same name as you. You're a bit biased, mate.
Yeah, it's spelt wrong though.
Yeah, I agree.
He spells it RIAN.
Well, maybe you've spelt your wrong.
Yeah,
you're wrong. Yours wrong.
Maybe you should speak fucking English properly.
Yeah, maybe.
But on the other side of that coin, editing. Like the editing in Knives Out is so good. Like when they start interviewing all the members of the family separately, and you have like the same question to two different family members, and because of the way it's intercut, like they'll ask the husband of the oldest daughter of the guy that died like one question, and just as he's about to answer, they'll cut to the reply of somebody else, and because they're actually different answers, but you know what the first guy's going to say because you can already tell the kind of character he is. When the other guy goes like, "Oh, that's bullshit," or whatever it is, that is instantly like hilarious, and it's just down to the edit. If you did his whole interview and then the next person's whole interview, like there's no real comedy there.
Or even just did the sequential answers after each other. You know, it's that lack of answer. You can because you just know you don't know the characters much at all, but you know them enough, right? Where you
learn them very quickly,
and the pause, like the how it's shot, obviously. You kind of learn kind of what they're going to say without them saying it.
Yes.
It reminds me of Edgar Wright, or not just an example. No, we're not going to go into it, but I mean, just as an example, the whole not answering the question of such. No, we're not going to. But it reminds me of not answering the question of such. You know, the whole it's not just necessarily him as well, Edgar Wright, but other.
He does do his dialogue.
The TV screen. You know, for example, in Shaun of the Dead, where it's just like.
Flicking through the news.
Goes, zombies are overtaking. Oh, I don't know. Now we see a massive. I don't know. Disruption on the.
Good luck coming with this on the.
And you know, like they answer each other's sentences, and he's just like, you don't need to know.
Oh no, they create. They create their own sentence. They create their own sentence out of it. So it's like
slightly different.
Audiences have seen walking. Decrepit, and then it just changes to the next thing. And like, it's perfect.
When I first watched that, I did not understand. Like until I watched it back, or I watched someone talking about it, I just thought it was just noise in the background. I did not get it. It did not click for me. I don't know the same for anyone else. The first time I listened to it, it just didn't.
But that's watchability.
Because it was so broken up.
Do you know what I mean? That makes you go, shit. I got to go
it's
back
quality
and watch that.
for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. Oh, not a bad thing. It's just that I didn't pick up on this straight away.
Yeah, see, I love a lot of directors for a lot of different reasons. You know, it's someone I've actually sort of fallen out of love with recently is, as much as I love how high concept his films are, I've fallen out of Nolan a little bit just because he seems to be a bit ham-fisted with his characters. You know, a lot of his characters are one or two dimensions. You never really understand them apart from maybe the lead character. And I mean, Tenet is a perfect example of that. Like, you know nothing about most of these characters apart from what's important to the story. Like, and by the end of it, you're like, I didn't really give a shit because he's just gone, look at this crazy high concept thing. And even, I mean, unfortunately with Tenet, it's also not really thought out right. But with Edgar Wright, there's depth beyond depth for comedy films. And that's why he's one of my favourites, is because no one does that with a comedy film. You don't need depth beyond depth beyond depth. But like, something that always like is like, you know, they say like there's a fucking viral sort of joke thing going around at the moment. This meme lives in my head rent free, right? One of the scenes, one of the things Edgar Wright did in Hot Fuzz that lives in my head rent free is they show a shot of the main shop that they go into where it's just like one student at a time on the door and the little bell thing goes and look, what's them killers there and all that sort of thing.
Nice ass on him.
Yeah, nice ass. Yeah.
What, the school kids? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, definitely no.
So poster in the window for the Romeo and Juliet show that's going to be on. And it's the two guys that end up getting murdered after the first Romeo and Juliet show. So it's the lawyer guy and then his secretary are on the poster. Later on in the film, so then they talk about like they introduce a few more characters and this, that, and the other. And two of the characters they introduce are the two people who played, like they say, oh well, this is Kevin. He played a cadaver on, you know, whatever. And basically they have two people in their community who were actors in very small part like shows or whatever. Then later on, it's just like a single shot when Nick Frost's character goes into the shop to get two cornettos, and on the poster it's the same Romeo and Juliet poster, but the faces have been replaced from the people that got killed to the two new characters who have been told at some point are actors.
Nice.
It's in no way important. But not only is it a great
completely
joke,
background, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Not only is it a great joke, but it's also just the depth that it applies to just the world that he's building. It's not even the story. That shit just blows my mind. Like, I love it so much. Oh man, and I now only notice that. Sorry, go on.
I do think he's a great director, but I love Nolan, and like you say, like even though I agree with the things you say on him, I think at the same time, realistically speaking, this is where I look at it, you got to give him a break. Like at the end of the day, yeah, he's a great director. He's made all these great films and whatnot, but you can't expect every film he's ever made or will make will be amazing.
No, I mean, like,
and
Interstellar is one of my favourite sci-fi
sure.
movies. Interstellar
yeah,
is one of my favourites.
But like,
so, like, yeah, I agree.
His next movie might be fucking killer. It might be absolute trash, and you know we'll go from there. But like, sure, Tenet's not one of his greatest, but
yeah. I mean,
and I was definitely confused in that film. Way
Still
more
watched
than
it.
I was
Have you not?
No, yeah, it is.
I was hyped to
definitely-
watch it. I kind of, you know, it was kind of promoted as being a fairly big film, and then it was a bit meh of a response, and I was like, I'll get around to watching it eventually.
The problem is didn't he bring it out in lockdown?
Yeah, he did.
Like,
I managed. I saw it in IMAX.
Out in the lockdown break we had.
Early 2020, right?
Split between lockdown 1 and lockdown 2. I went and saw it at the IMAX, and yeah, the thing that annoyed me most
Good
about
spectacle.
it. Yeah, exactly. The thing that it was.
Oh, beautiful film. Everything about it was visuals. Fantastic.
100%.
As they usually are with
Nolan
him.
does
Like,
right.
Yeah, always just incredible.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, he smashes that. But like, it just was. There's confusing, like in the terms of Inception, which kind of definitely it explained itself more so. In this film, it felt more like of confusion for confusion's sake.
Yeah,
so
it
the
did.
audience
Yeah.
can't
Yeah,
really totally come to a full understanding. Like, well, it's confusing. It's a Nolan film. That's fine. We'll watch it and
it
love
was
it anyway.
too far. It was like if you turned.
It was a bit too weird.
Yeah, I think.
Like at the end, we found out information that you didn't know about earlier on. At least I don't seem to remember it. I've got to go back and rewatch it, but I don't seem to remember certain information.
No, I mean there's like for example, anything that works with the inversion in Tenet, Henry. There's a thing called inversion where you go into this chamber thing and then you come out on the other side of this chamber thing and it's like a reflection of Earth but going backwards. So then you yourself are going forwards in time, but time is going backwards. So you're walking forwards, but technically, if somebody in normal time was going forwards with time flowing the normal way, they would see you walking perfectly backwards. So you still exist at the same time. You're just going in different directions now, and it almost works. But then there's the stuff like when you shoot a bullet. In actual fact, you're catching the bullet and stuff like that. Then it doesn't really make sense because like he catches a bullet he never shot at one point and stuff like that. And then there's like he steps in a puddle, but the puddle's water actually meets his foot and then he walks into the puddle sort of thing. So it's like he's already done it even though he never did. And it's like, hang on, that physics doesn't work compared to this.
Yeah, that's the question I always ask.
Yeah, and like,
it's like if you had shot this bullet, then you would have to shot it in this timeline.
Yeah.
Like you're sure it's still a bit.
It's messy. It's a little bit messy.
It's just messy.
He's in a car fire at one point and almost dies of hypothermia from getting too cold because instead of it getting too hot, it gets too cold in the car. Like, and it's like, what the fuck? What does that mean? It doesn't make sense.
That's just, I can see what you mean by saying it's confusing for the sake of, well, not for the sake of being confusing, but it's just not. Inception was made to be confusing, but it was well enough explained by the end of it enough, whereas this one kind of just seems like it doesn't have enough of that explanation.
Inception is like the perfect high concept film idea for his style of intercutting scenes together, because you can have multiple scenes happening at the same time. You can use slow motion and you can use just different practical effects to explain certain things and and if you go into it you can nitpick and say, okay, like how come the anti-gravity happened on one dream level but didn't happen on the next dream level and stuff like that. But then if you then take another step back from that, you can go, because the practical effects are off the chain. Like they are so good in Inception. And then to up that with Interstellar and really delve into time stuff, and like I love that it's theoretical physics all the way up until he goes into the wormhole, and then it's basically Nolan can go like shit crazy with however he wants this film to end, and he does it, and it works like in my opinion, it works brilliantly. It is one of the best like sci-fi films out there, Interstellar, but I would love to see him write some really good characters. I think his best written characters came from the Batman films, and that was content that had already been written. You already know stuff about those characters going in. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Or they're fleshed out. The story's fleshed out already, so he's just building on something that already exists. Not necessarily the viewer already knows, but the concept and the relationship's already there. He's just using that to create something else.
That's the thing. I feel like in Inception, you could go in not knowing anything, and you'd catch on. Even if you didn't totally catch on, you'd understand it to a degree. And then you go back, watch it again, or watch some other videos or reviews about it, and then you'd understand it. Whereas with Tenet, there was no definitive answer, if you know what I mean. Like there was no finalized. It's like, oh, this is what this happened. It's just like it feels like Nolan's worked out in his head, and maybe he hasn't, but like he's worked out in his head. It's like, yeah, that'll do. Not necessarily that'll do, but like that'll do for the sake of this, because like, oh, it's me. Maybe he's not that egotistical, but he's like.
I think he is a bit.
I'm Nolan. Oh, it's fine.
I think he
maybe potentially. I mean, to
probably
be fair,
by now. I mean, like his ego is nothing compared to like Tarantino. I mean, that man is borderline mental. Like it's incredible some of the shit that he comes out with.
Yeah, but he's allowed to be mental because he's a fucking gremlin. Like he is a fucking gremlin. That man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I got mad respect. Inglourious Basterds was one of my favourite films. Like, but he is like so strange. But like, I love that it doesn't matter to him what people think of each of his films. He made them for his specific reason. They do well. He goes and makes his next film for his specific reason. And now he's gotten to a point where he's explained in an interview with Joe Rogan that what's it called? His last movie he wants to make will be like an epilogue film. So it'll be like the finale of something. Won't necessarily be the finale of something he's already created. I mean, he's talking about maybe making Kill Bill 3, which would be amazing. But like, he's talking about his last film being an epilogue, and like in his mind, his entire set of movies are a story to him. Like they create a story because of how they like the certain situations they're written as. So like, for example, Inglourious Basterds is a film that is set entirely in the pace of the moment. Like it's constantly a film that's rising all the way to the end sort of thing, and then everything sort of happens. You know, the cinema burns down, Hitler gets killed, like what's his face, the SS officer that's hunting down all the Jews and everything. He gets the swastika carved in his head, and they almost go home happy, apart from obviously a few people die because it's Tarantino. But like, but then you've got like Pulp Fiction, for example, is a film where things are beginning. You know, at the end of the film, Sam Jackson's character is going off to start something new, but you don't ever find out if he's going to do it. You know, so is Bruce Willis's character. You know, even the black guy that's like the big boss, everything, that gets like bummed up the arse by the gimp, right? He's a changed man by the end of Pulp Fiction. Henry's laughing.
Well, I love how that's the thing that sticks in your brain.
Resonates in your brain.
Like,
yeah, but even though you're maybe not right about that, but like you're right. Like not all films have to. I hate fucking happy endings. I love the fact
for the sake of happy endings. Yes.
Yeah, for the sake of happy endings. That's why me and a lot of people I talk to. This is you might agree on this as well, Henry. But like, Star Wars Rogue one of my most favourite stories.
Oh, I agree.
Up there,
I agree.
Up there as one of the best ones, because not necessarily just because of the ending as well, but ending was a big part of it. Is we never see any actual real loss of characters like in these films.
Yeah.
Like you see the main characters, maybe they'll die, and you'll be like, oh no, that's so sad. Like, oh no.
Well, in the sequels, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, the filmmaker, but they'll really bet on that. Like the Han Solo recently one. Sorry, spoilers. The Han Solo one recently, they'll really bet on that, and they'll be like, oh yeah, they'll fucking love this. They don't want to see an adored character like that die. But like, even though that's great and stuff, that's what the audience expects. When you see all these characters in Rogue One, it's like new characters at the start of the film. Suddenly, by the end of the film, they're all fucking dead. That I don't know, the whole journey they've been
it
through as
fits
well
with the
obviously builds up
universe.
to that, and it's and it's just
It
that is
fits,
what I want to
yeah.
see, because all these this is what's important about. It sounds weird, bring it back to a realistic human level. It's the realities of war, you know.
Well, at least
Like,
the
we
kind
only
of
hear
films.
about
Yeah,
this
no,
stuff.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. What's he doing?
But yeah, carry on. I was about to say, I'm just gonna piss. You guys.
So-
Go.
What? Just put his light in front of the camera. Okay, sure.
There was no way we were going to carry on smoothly from that, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll just go quickly on Rogue One while he's still here. What I like about it is that it came out in between all the sequels, and it was kind of filling out the rest of the universe, and I really like that. I don't know if you've ever watched The Mandalorian, not
I
a
love
film.
The
It's
Mando.
the series. It's the whole
Yes.
filling out, and it kind of links back to a completely different degree, but links back to your Edgar Wright comment about it's things that you really want if you really care about something is the other stuff going on in the world. You know, if you care about, you know, the Edgar Wright films, you're saying you look for those details and he's really thought about it and it all works. Rogue One is like a film that fleshes out a part of the story you didn't really know about. The Mandalorian does the same thing.
Yeah.
I've been watching The Bad Batch, which is the most recent thing.
Yeah.
It fleshes out part of the universe
I
that you
haven't
never
gotten all the
really
way
knew
through
about,
that.
but because
I
you're a
stayed up
massive fan, because of a massive Star Wars fan,
Yeah.
you might know probably
Oh,
not.
yeah.
so. But you know, it
Like Baby
fleshes out
Rancor.
something you care about.
I am still a big Star Wars fan. I just cannot stand
Animation?
the recent trilogy. No, it's not the animation. I mean, it's written a little bit child friendly. You know, I kind of wish it was a
Of
little
course,
bit more.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, no,
you
of
know.
course it is.
But it is.
I believe I saw on Disney Plus. It's 6+.
Yeah, I mean, I said this
Take it
to
at face
Jason a little
value.
while ago. The thing that annoys me about like where they're going with the Clone Wars universe and stuff is that even the kids that were watching the original Clone Wars stuff, when like we were still watching it as being like teen going into 20s and stuff like that, because the original Clone Wars stuff was years ago now. I don't mean like the original because that's been like written out of the universe whatever now, because we were kids when that came out.
The original
But,
animated series.
Yeah.
Do you
So the
mean
ones that's in this art style they're using now, right? Those kids are now like probably 15, 16 years old, right? So they're not necessarily going to be watching this Bad Batch series now. So who's their audience? If they're still using the
See,
sort of
all right, let
slightly
me interject you
maybe,
here.
I don't want to say childish writing, but it's a lot softer than it could be. You know,
I'm gonna get a bit.
But it's
hippie,
dual for that
fucking
reason. You
dickhead
go
right
with
here.
it, but it's dual for a reason. I
I'm
think.
about to
But
get
yeah.
like riddled here. Let me just open my
No,
arsehole
no,
up and you
no.
guys can just climb
no,
right up
this
there.
this isn't even Star Wars related. This is any popular media related at all.
Right,
really.
okay.
So obviously, you know, humans, we're complicated. First of all, that's a start.
Why are you being so
Yeah,
vague
you like that?
tonight? What is?
Right, now wait. Okay, so it's basically right. So let's just start there. Scrap everything I just said. Okay.
Brilliant. I called
good.
you. I called
Yeah,
you
that's
out.
good.
Let me start again. Okay, so like fucking obviously, let's just look at this as a money perspective. At the end of the day, these people making these things are, I hate to say it, there might be creators behind it, well there are creators behind it, but it's money orientated the majority of the time.
I instantly disagree
So-
because it's Disney Plus. They already made their money. That's why
Star
they.
Wars
I
has
think-
more money to be
no,
made
no,
always.
No, I think you're foolish in saying
Yeah,
that.
but where
Like,
else is
Disney-
Bad Batch gonna go? Unless they're putting it onto like Cartoon Network or something where so that they can sell toys and stuff like
It's
that.
the-
They're already making
the
their
draw-
cash from Disney Plus straight away.
Toys
Well,
are
think about
huge.
families.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%
new
they're making
kids.
their money from merchandise. I mean, it's famously like that's how George
Yeah, but
Lucas
families
made
as
most
well,
of their
and people
cash.
owning like subscription services are, I say the future, they are now, but they're also the future.
Yeah.
Like they are the present, but they're like, you know, the same reason we have you know, you want to get a big audience
Yeah.
to watch these films, and the reason we
So why write them
enjoy,
the
you
way
know,
they're
the reason
written?
you enjoyed video games when you were younger or whatever, you know, like I enjoyed Star Wars Battlefront as a kid or other, I don't know, Crash Bandicoot, all this stuff, and
Oh,
when I go back and play
Battlefront's
them
so
now, they have absolutely no, well, I say no, like they don't hit that spot the same as it is as a child. You know,
I see what
like,
you're saying. So basically, like Bad Batch is
you
trying
have
to
to build
hit
an
that
audience.
child, that don't want to say that childish Spock because that just sounds.
Hit that child.
It didn't sound bad until you said that. Like,
I want to hit a child with my bad badge. That's one of my stanky
you
bad
made it
badge.
worse.
No, so yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like they basically know if they want to almost lock in their audience for the next generation of people, they keep Bad Batch written for a lower age group, and then they're securing younger fans for the future. Is that basically what you're saying?
But do fan service for the
essentially,
older
but I
guys
think-
as well.
Yeah, I think Bad Batch
It is kind of. I mean, like Darth Maul in the Clone Wars thing. Sorry, Josh, but Darth Maul in the Clone Wars thing was just all bark, no bite. Like he just chat, and had the most like pathetic fight with Ahsoka at the end of Clone Wars.
That is one of the best animated fights of all time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think you're wrong
but no one's going to get an arm cut off or get cut in half
No, but-
or
no,
anything
no,
like
yeah,
that.
of
It's
course
like
you're not, Ryan.
you're
It's
just
a kid's
taking
show.
the fear aspect
You're-
of Star Wars. Anakin was turned into a nugget, right? Why is Darth Maul not trying to slice Ahsoka into pieces of blue fish? Like, why? What is going on? She could be turned into sushi
Because you're
by that
balancing
man. And
a-
yet he's not doing
your
it.
new audience with your old audience.
Yeah.
And that's the same reason, I don't know, let's give it fucking Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters haven't created, I don't know, maybe it's not, it's clearly not, isn't it? But it's a big franchise.
It
I
was.
suppose. You know, it was, and maybe, potentially, there could have been potential for them to really run that into, not run it into the
They
ground,
are
but, you know,
bringing-
keep on pursuing it.
They are doing a new Ghostbusters film, and I can see what you're saying. because
Okay,
that
yes,
does
they're
bring in a
trying
new
now,
fan
but if
base.
I'd say so, a bit too late. If from the get-go, Ghostbusters, for example, this is just an example, there's probably other, maybe better examples, but if they had fucking kept going with that, they brought out an animated show, they brought out series, they did this, they did that, they brought out more films and stuff, maybe it's have more of a momentum now, like Star Wars, obviously, although Star Wars is less
Yeah.
Ghostbusters
Like the
is
thing
here,
we're
Star
talking
Wars
about
is
earlier,
like,
Marvel.
fuck it
Well,
up here.
I was literally going to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
Marvel,
Marvel,
is
for
a perfect
example. Yeah, there you go.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. You know, they've brought out Marvel
Fucking
animated shows, things like that as well.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, sorry, I went way too shit there, didn't I?
Well, it's not too shit, just too late. Like, Ghostbusters was like
Just
40
wrong.
years ago now. Like,
Yeah, no, but you
You
get
could at
what
least
I'm
gone with
saying. Like,
Teenage
you have...
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
oh, I'm
That would
so...
have been a
wait,
good
wait.
one.
If Michael Bay hadn't made the Ninja Turtles movies, I would still be a massive Turtles fan. I'm an old
There we
school,
go.
like early 2000s Ninja Turtles fan, 100%. But I've not even watched
That's
the
what I
Michael
mean,
Bay
right?
movies
Because the
I
new
can't
ones
stand what he's
introduce
done.
the kids,
Yeah.
but keep the old people, older people,
The
old
old-
audience still going.
we can
and
call
keeps it
ourselves
fresh.
old people,
Yeah,
Henry. I think.
but whether or not
I
you go
can,
into
you
that
can't.
film and
Oh,
you watch
shut
it and go, oh, what a piece of
Oh,
shit
shut
or
up.
whatever, those kids, most likely, I can't speak for them, but at the same time,
I speak
have
for
a
all
pretty good
children.
I have a pretty good idea that they're not fucking film critics, and
No,
lo and
you're
behold,
right.
they're fucking children, right? So they're going to enjoy that film for what it is. The same I enjoyed for those films and those games back in the day. And if my kid right now was to get a PlayStation 2 out and fucking go, hey dad, play some Star Wars Battlefront, play some Crash Bandicoot. Like, this fucking game shit, son. Like, this is crap.
Hang on.
You know,
couldn't-
but to him,
no,
that
no.
is the meaning of
No,
his life.
opposite way round for games. Kids these days will
Okay,
just
so-
jump from game to game because they have so much to be given. Back in the day, when Battlefront 2 was the only game that I had, I was just listening to Yogpods and playing Battlefront 2 like constantly because that's all I had to play. And then if I eventually got a new game, that was all I was playing. Like kids these days have got a massive amount of choice in what they can play. Like if you gave a
And
So
kid
you might be right
Fortnite.
there, though, to be
if they,
fair.
yeah, they play
because-
Fortnite. You know, if you give a kid PS Plus, they've got that PS Plus thing where you get 2 free games a month. You know, the last like 6 months they've had Call of Duties and they've had like Battle Brothers and they've had like all these crazy games that they can probably play for 5 minutes and then just stop.
That is
playing.
one point that I do
know?
agree with you on. That, to be fair, you know, that's why I say they're maybe not film critics. Like,
Yeah,
obviously
I think
not,
gaming
but,
and
you know,
films have definitely gone in
the
different
fact that they
directions.
can go, the fact that they can enjoy, like I say, let's say just watch the first Star Wars, or whatever. They've loved that film. Like for us, that was one of say 5 films. For them, that's one of 50 films. For us, that's just like, oh shit, that's the best fucking film I've seen this year or this past whatever. Like I fucking love this. To them, as you say, I agree with you. They might be like, oh, this is great, but I also enjoyed, I don't know, Power Rangers, the Hulk, Spider-Man. I also enjoyed they have all these options, so you might be right
I
there.
like how softly
there's
you
less
said
for them.
Power Rangers. Really softly.
Power-
Like, Power
Sorry, wait, is there a new Power Rangers? I
There
feel
is
like
a
was
new
one
Power
few
Rangers,
years
think
Rangers.
ago.
Yeah,
so.
for a few years ago.
Is
There was. Yeah. Let me do a quick Google.
Yeah, there was, weren't there?
Hang on.
Yeah.
There was definitely
I'm gonna find out what that was.
Power Rangers.
But yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. But like, it's difficult because it's so easy, and that's why I try not to do it myself.
Yeah,
I try and be as
2017.
fair as
It
possible
was a Power Rangers movie.
to compare
in
ourselves
2017.
between people then, people now, because times fucking change. I don't want to be
Yeah.
a fucking boomer.
No.
Like,
No, you're
I
far
wanna
from
be
a
as fair
boomer,
as
my friend.
possible.
Don't worry about that. But I think, there's. I think the main difference between like films and games now is that, like, I actually watched quite an interesting interview with Matt Damon on Hot Ones. Right, I don't know if you guys watch Hot Ones where they eat the chicken wings
oh, I
and
did
stuff.
actually watch that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
did
So
watch
he said
that
something
one.
very interesting about like what's happened because of the change from DVD to digital. So we used to be able to get a lot more, not necessarily experimental films, but there could be a lot more films that aren't like the big superhero blockbuster or the big horror movie blockbuster. You could get all sorts of different movies
Like
and
cult
stuff like
films.
that. Yeah, cult films, rom-coms,
Well, no, that's
stuff
they
like
could come
that.
through as cult classics.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like you'd get a lot more of those when DVDs were around because when they released, you basically got a second box office like cash in because everybody went and bought the DVD. But now with digital, there isn't that thing. So the box office has to be a success. So when a movie, that's why it's like all of these like big blockbuster, like multi-million-dollar movies and stuff now, and there's less of the low tier films. A lot of that stuff goes straight to streaming and gets a lower budget, which is a shame, just because DVDs are now no longer a thing. They don't get their second sort of box office success.
Do you think that's? I mean, this is what I'm assuming. That's what Matt Damon said.
Yeah.
But do you think it's probably both? I don't think it's solely streaming. I think it's just big corporations realizing franchises will just keep the money coming in, the merch being
They
so
always
big
did,
because they,
Yeah,
I guess they always did. Yeah, true. But I feel like it's because it's so worldwide. There's a bigger audience, so maybe it's easier. It is just easier.
Yeah, I mean,
let's be
like-
honest.
Yeah, because if you go
And it's
back
cheaper.
20 years and not even 20 years, 40 years, and try and advertise. Well, let's go
you're
for
talking
Star Wars
like
again.
movies in the 80s.
Advertise Star. Yeah, let's just try and advertise Star Wars in this scenario. What options do we
New.
have?
Completely new,
We have
right.
the headline
I think
news.
the first Star
We
Wars
have
was
word of
70s.
mouth.
But
We have comics. We have action figures.
Yeah, you've
and
got
that's pretty much it.
newspapers. You've probably maybe got the radio. You've got posters. Possibly TV. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. There must have been some kind of like advert. on
Yeah,
TV.
not a huge audience, but
but
big
no,
Let's
enough.
skip forward
You-
to our
Josh,
time.
You are right though. Action figures is something I think would have sold a movie more back then than it would have done now. Like
Yeah.
nowadays,
Do you think,
like,
did those come out before or after the film, though?
but they would come out before. So right, there's some crazy stories about like toys, like toy stores selling paper pictures of Star Wars toys, like that people would go nuts for and buy the paper picture, and then when the toy was released, they'd go back to the store with their paper picture and say, "I already bought this toy. Can I have it now that it's actually released?" So these toys were going off the shelves before they even
No,
existed.
he's right.
Right.
It was
and
a
that
marketing
yeah.
technique. That was one of their techniques,
Yeah.
was to sell before the film
It's
had even
crazy.
come out.
That's crazy. That's insane.
but
Because
now-
you think
let-
you think that hype comes from people watching the films and have watched it a couple of times and think, now I want
Yeah,
to
100%.
play it.
Lore building. It's always been lore building. That's the thing. Like whatever
It's-
film it is.
yeah.
I'd say like just you. Humans love mystery.
Again with the
We
humans.
love not
This
knowing.
being so vague.
No, yeah,
Straight
sorry.
away.
No, that's not vague. No. But humans, as a whole, we
Humans
fucking
like
love
to shit,
mysteries.
and we
He's
buy action
being so
figures.
existential today.
No, but we love not knowing. Why do you think we love murder mysteries? Why do you think like whodunits and everything like that?
Yeah, but
I think we love not
a
knowing. We love
whodunit-
knowing, but the fact that we can't know really
But
pisses us off.
again, we're coming back to Knives Out. The reason why Knives Out was so good is because nobody's done a whodunit in like 20 years, which is
Oh, yeah,
why it slaps
exactly.
so. It's not the only reason why it slaps so hard. It's also like
It
brilliantly.
slaps.
It does.
Oh,
it slaps, mate. It absolutely slaps. But
It's good for
All right, Zoomer.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
That's.
But like if you anyway going back to
Poggers,
that, like,
something else. 4chan. I don't know.
Coming back to nowadays, though,
OnlyFans.
like, how-
Sorry.
shit. That's pretty funny what's happening with OnlyFans, isn't it?
Let's not talk
Like,
about
well,
that.
I
'Cause
mean,
we'll go-
like, have you seen all the memes going
We'll
around of
go
like
on a
OnlyFans?
we're going on a tangent.
OnlyFans users in October or whatever it is, and they're just like standing in a McDonald's uniform. Like that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
makes me laugh.
Mom, can I have some money? And be like, realizing your child.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Trying to get on the OnlyFans
Your
site.
child. Stop
Oh,
it with
no.
your children.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
But they're all fucking kids. That was a big problem with
You
OnlyFans,
said,
wasn't
you
it?
said
The fact they're all
fucking
kids.
too many times this podcast. We're gonna get DDoSed on YouTube.
Well, we're talking about OnlyFans, aren't we? Oh, sorry.
Oh,
anyway.
jeez.
So anyway, coming back to what I was saying, the one big factor nowadays in marketing, the biggest factor in marketing, fucking social media, mate. The internet.
Well, yeah,
like,
yeah. I was okay. What you're saying,
that is
yeah,
what sells
is the
films
reason
now.
why action figures don't sell anymore is because kids get an iPhone in their hand before they get an action figure. You know,
You
Talk
see
about
a
those
trade.
Funko Pops did so well.
that's not That's not an action figure, and that's people. That's people our age buying
I
that
know.
shit now. I mean, our mate
Yeah, true.
Chappers that we were doing this podcast with before, like he has a metric shit ton of Funko Pops. Like I've even bought him one for Christmas. Like he loves them, and like there's actually nothing wrong with that. It's like this is gonna sound like I'm putting down anybody with Funko Pops. I have them as well. It's like the average man's collectible now. You know, collectibles are pretty expensive. You know, if I wanted to go and get like the Thanos gauntlet or something like that, you know, that set me back 250 quid probably. I mean, your lightsaber, that was like 180, wasn't it? 150. Yeah, exactly.
But
you know, and
we
that's
bought that.
real collectible shit. These Funko Pops are like $12.99. You know?
Oh, they're
No,
fake.
that's the idea,
They're
it's
fake.
disguised-
Fake
it's
I
disguised
scarcity.
as
thought you were saying they're fake news.
It's the modern day trading card, though, isn't it? It's the modern day
Yeah,
fucking
fake scarcity.
match
It's not, but they're not.
Yeah,
they're
no,
not
they
scarce
give
at all.
you
It's
the
just-
idea. Yeah, no, 100%. You're totally right. It is just honestly, it's a massive fuck. The reason I have not got any Funko Pops is because I saw them and I was just like, I really want that, and I was like, but I know if I get one,
you
I have to
see,
get them all.
I've got 4,
Yeah.
and they're just
and I
there.
respect that, and that's fine.
And
Have
I
you
haven't
taken
got
out
them
the
in
packets?
years. Oh yeah, because I don't. What's
Thank
it's not
you!
gonna be worth
There we
anything.
go!
Same.
It's not gonna be
Because,
worth.
yeah, it's
That's
not
what I was gonna
worth
say.
anything. You're right.
It's
You're
like,
so right.
and like, I think I can't remember. Someone said that keep it in the box because it'll be worth it. No, it won't.
No, it
They
won't.
sell
That's
thousands
all.
of these.
Everybody's got.
And
Yes, exactly.
and how long are you going to keep it for? So I've
Chappers
got
keeps
like
his in the box. I've said this to him before.
I've got Rick Grimes, Master Chief,
Nice.
Rocket Raccoon,
Oh,
and
Master
Jon
Chief's
Snow.
pretty cool.
That's
I
my-
like that.
that's my
totally
4.
random as well.
Those are
I
good,
like
yeah.
that. They're just
That's
totally,
it. Yeah.
they're the ones you like and the
Nice.
ones you want.
I know.
They're not,
Yeah, that's
they're
it.
not-
I've got
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, who looks sick because he's got like sort of glowing green things around his arms and stuff. I've got the Fallout 4, the full armor, like the full Fallout armor. My favorite one is I've got like 2 more. I can't remember what one of them is because they're all packed up like for when I go back to my flat at uni. But my favorite one is. It's Deadpool, but it's not the classic red and black Deadpool. It's like a black and grey with the red eyes from the X-Force comics, which is my favourite set of like comics that I've ever read. Like I absolutely love the Uncanny X-Force storyline, and that's why I have them. Each one sort of in my mind has a little reason for it, you know, like I mean the Fallout one is actually one that my ex gave me, but and I've just never been able to sell it. But the
Sell it?
yeah
It won't be worth anything.
yeah,
Bro, give me
you
that.
say that. I managed to sell. I had Joey from Friends, and I managed to sell it for the same price that I got it. So people out there are going to be
that's
buying.
a collectible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
out there's gone. Oh, I've now got Chandler and Rachel in the box, and I've got Joey. I need to get Phoebe, and like it's just like people out there are collecting these and going crazy about them. And I just, you're right. They aren't going to have any worth because absolutely everybody will have them. You know.
Because now it's not the 80s where a little fucking 90s or whatever, the 2000s where a little factory or little
It
business
is the
making
2000s.
collectibles. It is. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean. It's you know, it's not a little company or a little business making this thing. It is massive. Everything nowadays is conglomerate fucking capitalists.
Jesus Christ! Right,
Profiting
Stalin,
off this
calm
shit.
down.
That's
But it's all
communism,
mass
get it
produced,
right.
so there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
But like, as you say, yeah, mass produced shit. Like, it's not the same as what it was.
If you want to buy them, yeah, of course, buy them whatever you want, but don't expect them to be these collectibles. I've got a few. I kind of like them for what they are, and they're not collectibles though. They're not really collectibles.
Exactly.
They're just a style of a.
Meanwhile, this is a collectible. There you go.
Is it?
Jesus Christ.
Is it?
Proper. The ink's gone all blue. It wasn't actually blue before, I'm told.
The guy who bought it from second
been
hand.
shafted.
Yeah,
2006, and this is only 2006. Imagine ones before that.
You have to
ridiculous.
describe to audio listeners
Oh, I
what you're even
described to the
talking
audience.
about.
This,
Yeah,
this is a 2006 Star Wars The Saga Collection Clone Trooper from the 5th Fleet Security. You can collect them all.
What a
even has
nerd,
that
eh,
shitty
Henry?
little
What
It even says in the bottom, includes an exclusive hologram figure, and I'd just like to show you guys this.
Oh, is it Akbar? Is that Akbar?
And it's
little
not.
jelly man.
It's still in the box. It's not.
No, this is all totally. I'm not taking it out, but these are all your characters.
Okay,
you get.
respect
There's
for-
9. There's 9 collectibles. This is a collectible, not a Funko Pop, not one of fucking 5 million. All right. Not one that they make fucking
Yeah.
Little Peep and
Yeah,
I don't know, fucking whatever.
Did you say Lil
characters
Peep?
People there. Well, no, I bet you if I Google Little Peep Funko
There
right
probably
now,
is
I
one.
bet
What is Little
I
Pig?
think that's a rapper.
he's a rapper, man.
You know what mine went
I thought you
to?
were gonna say, like,
Mine
Harley
went to
Quinn.
little Bo Peep from Toy Story.
Peep.
Oh look, here we go. Here's a Little Peep.
Don't
Funko.
get Josh on
Wow.
animated films. He's gonna nut. Don't let him get on there.
Oh.
He fucking loves
Oh,
it.
if it's about Incredibles,
Fuck
then
it.
let's get started.
Don't. Oh man, but yeah.
I think
no,
I saw
yeah,
a Funko Pop of like some of the like J-pop or K-pop
Yeah.
people as well. I'm like, come on.
If someone has got a, I tell you what, right? Somebody's bought a Funko Pop. They believe in 20 years' time it's going to be like worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? That Funko Pop is of Harley Quinn. That's not going to be worth shit. I'm telling you right now, because
But you know
every
what?
fifth person that's ever seen a comic book film in this country has probably got a Harley Quinn Funko Pop.
But this kind of comes back to the whole marketing thing. If they have absolutely smashed it out the park with creating this false sense of scarcity that's going to be worth something in a
Oh,
while.
yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
They've absolutely
smashed
it.
nailed it.
Yeah, I mean,
People will
Marketing-
fall for it straight
and
away.
This is a question for you guys. When do you remember first actually seeing Funko Pops come around? Because it's probably been about, I don't know.
mine was
Oh,
like
yeah,
the end
tell
of
me what you
school.
think.
The end of school. Like I was year 11, I think. Or maybe
Like,
start.
how many
college.
years ago?
think
10
That
years
was
ago?
like
5
that
years
was like
ago?
2010,
10
11,
years.
So 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'd say 10 years.
Yeah, about
Maybe
that,
2012.
right? I couldn't tell you personally. Yeah, probably about 10 years or so. But like, fuck me, 10 years was something to go from what it was.
No, I
then
think it
to
was
seeing them
bigger in
occasionally
America
to
before
now.
it came over here because it was one of those things where suddenly it's like, what the hell is a Funko Pop? And everybody's talking about them. It wasn't like a growing thing with a small, popular. It wasn't just like popular to a small group of people and grew in the
It was
UK.
very much definitely a nerdy
was
thing, and I do think it definitely still is.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely got a nerdy
yeah.
fan base, but everyone.
And
Everyone's a
it's the
nerd
ba-
as
it's
well
the
these
basic
days. So.
nerd-
exactly, it's like it's the average
to your
man's
room,
collector.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, sweet. We've done a double full circle today, boys. We've got.
That's also a massive section on Funko Pop. That is.
Yeah, no,
How
can
long
we
has
all
that
just-
been?
can we all just fuck
25
Funko
minutes or
Pop?
whatever.
It's just ranting about
Fuck
Funko
it.
Pops. That's Greece. And consumerism
Oh, God.
from Stalin over here.
Yeah.
Consumerism. Where do we even start? Who cares?
Oh man, that is funny.
No, that was a good chat.
Yeah, that was.
a good
I
chat.
am sweating.
That was a good
think-
rant. It was more of a rant.
Yeah, well, that's what
Wasn't
this
it?
podcast is for, really. I mean, like, at the end of the day,
Ranting.
we're in the frame of mind to rant.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you did it!
To get pissed off.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what FOM stands for.
yeah, well done. Me. welcome to
Fucking
the
hell!
room.
Wow, that's one less fan. One less fan I
Oh,
thought
man.
we had.
This is actually a fan chat with our biggest fan, Henry.
Makes you feel any better. I basically never listen
Yeah.
to any of these podcasts.
Yeah, you see, this is the thing. I've heard most of them like 3 or 4 times, but within editing them.
Yeah, because you're the one fucking editing,
Yeah,
mate.
Exactly. Fucking funny. Oh man.
Anyway, that's been a pleasure, lads. I like our nice little rant.
Yeah, this is-
Let's wrap it
Yeah.
up.
All right. Fuck it. All right. Jesus, he wants to go. I think.
Get on with it.
Yeah,
Fuck,
Jesus.
I've got
Alright.
things to
Look,
do.
do you want to know the real news? I need a shit. All right.
Okay, we're shitting. We are human beings.
Yeah, again, we're human beings. We all need to shit, right? Why do we see it in films? For example, you know what? I'll bring you with me.
Thank you very much for listening. This has been the Frame On podcast. I have been joined by my wonderful friends Henry and Josh.
Cheers for having me on.
You.
Yeah. Well,
Who?
What?
What did you say?
He said thanks for having me on. He was being polite. Unlike you
I thought you
fucking
said,
shit
"Please have me
maniac.
on." I was just like, we just had you on. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Adios,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ryan. See you later.
Bye.